situation. I already know what you're saying. I love little conversations, and I don't want you to go changing. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. I hope that you just feel it all too. Cause girl, you're comfortable and let's go. Feels so good just when I roll through. And I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that. And I really need you to show it. So turn around, let me get you on the cold air. Situation. We don't spend time hesitating, and I wouldn't say we're crazy in love. I would just say we're crazy enough. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. You just feel it all too. Cause girl, you're comfortable and let's go. Feels so good just when I roll through. And I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that. And I really need you to show it. So turn around, let me get you on the cold air. Baby, I'm with you if you gon' be down. Cause girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. Girl, you're just so comfortable. I hope that you just feel it all too. You're just so comfortable. Cause girl, you're comfortable. It just feels so good just when I roll through. I just think it's so crazy what you do to me. Girl, you're the baddest thing, you know that.
Welcome one and all to another amazing night here in Tranquility.
We absolutely are in for a treat of a match here tonight, no question about it.
And the grenades from Pomku eliminate everybody on the field.
Now I'm between something as well. It's going to be a fly stab and death block them, and it's going to be huge. Fighting three.
The double kill with the Bastion ulti? Alright, I see you guys.
For B-Well, look to find a stick there, finds the stick, they find two with it!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
And Cam with the four-man punch off the map!
Experience tranquility.
Hi everybody, it's us, Gedster, Gator. Words are hard. I'm sorry. Words are so hard this afternoon for me. I apologize. But hello everybody. It's elimination time. Round 1 of losers, actually Revital and Just Better Incorporated gonna be going at it. How are we feeling today?
I'm feeling fantastic. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Gedster. I'm very excited to see the game happening today. As you said, it's an elimination game. Everything on the line here for these two teams. They've had a bit of a rocky season, but you know, they've made it here into the playoffs. They've progressed a little bit, and now they have a chance to keep writing their history. However, it will only be one of these two teams, as you can see up there, 3-5, the record from Revital, a bit better from Just Better Inc. at 4-4, but both teams got swept in the previous round of the playoffs. Revital played against a number 3 seed, Fleet Angels. That was a sweep, swift 3-0, and Weavern's number 6 seed against a number 11 seed in Just Better Inc. Also a 3-0 sweep. So I'd say we'd have a pretty even footing between these two teams, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's on relatively even ground as it stands here, but there are a couple things to throw into the mix here, because last week's matches were played on the old patch. This week, we are on the brand new patch that dropped yesterday with the Star Watch event. That means Junker Queen buffs, that means a slight elimination. What am I talking about? A slight buff to Orisa. Many other small changes, but crucially, everybody, we would like to let you all know right now, Sigma is disabled. Because I don't know if you've seen the clips on Twitter, but that character's broken right now.
Yeah. We do a little bit of trolling. To be fair, it is a bit of a situational bug from what I've seen. Like, you need, I think, the issue is with its ultimate gravitic flux. From what I've seen, you need to, I think it's target someone with gravitic flux and make sure that there is someone inside the flux, and then let the timer run to 0, and the next time you get the ultimate, you've got to place it like outside the map, and then you get a permanent flying buff. It's so complicated. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that thing never, ever happened in any games. But, you know, for the sake of competitive integrity, we gotta disable... Well, it has been disabled, you know, by the higher-ups in Overwatch, and we're just following suit. And we're going to be going into Antarctic Peninsula, just like you see there. Very interesting. Sigma could have been a viable option in this map, but like you said, the Junker Queen buffs, I think, are going to make her pretty prevalent. We've seen from the highest tier of competition, Overwatch League, a lot of Ramatra and Rhine being played here. Of course, our Penguin friends are going to be there. Hopefully, we can see some pretty good appearances. But I have to ask, Gedster, is there anything specific that you are expecting in terms of composition? Anything that you want to throw out there that maybe we're going to be able to see tonight?
Well, there was a slight nerf to Ana in this patch, and I don't think it'll be that impactful, but we will end up seeing if they end up favoring another flex support. Generally, it wouldn't surprise me if we see a lot of Lucio and Kiriko tonight. That composition has been pretty consistent for a couple patches now. Definitely not as hard meta as it used to be, but Yeah, with that slight on nerf, it'll be interesting to see if the Kiriko is favored. What else was I gonna talk about? Yeah, on Antarctic Peninsula, specifically. I think we're definitely gonna see Junker Queen. I'll be real, I think we're definitely gonna see this character. It's a rush map. Yeah, at least one team gonna be running it, or at least showing it in the spawn so far on this first point. The other team running that Ramatra. Definitely a consistent pick, though. Like, I'm not surprised to see Ramatra either. I think the most surprising character I see here, though... Well, they're not on it anymore, but I saw Hanzo for a moment.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Hanzo play around here. Like we said, Overwatch League. I believe I saw Toronto Defiant in the opening game against San Francisco Shock. It was very interesting. We're seeing Genji Sojourn. There it is. The Hanzo is back together with a Ramatra. Very, very good combo. On the other side, very interesting to see no Kiriko from either team. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this develops with Junker Queen.
Oh no, Raijin is super isolated. Finally unites with the rest of the team, but Just Better Inc. very nearly running him down. Oh, they do get him! They do eventually get him down, and now without that super consistent damage from the Hanzo, you are in a lot of trouble this fight if you're Revital. Yeah, but you do get the counter pick onto Stingray. Now you no longer have that tank. The shout's not there to continue that sustain, and Orsted's just gonna spam down blue and find a headshot on that Iggy. Oh, good stuff for Revital.
That's very interesting for Revital. Yeah, you lose your main DPS there, but then you get those two picks off the back of Orsted. That mage is clicking heads. I mean, that's fantastic. Not the way you'd expect the fight to go. But yeah, it's just crazy. The Blizzard is going to be online here very soon. And I mean, you have to target the mage, don't you?
Yeah. Good focus on that wall to break it down, but Anarchy going to be getting a little bit of a Lucio dip find there onto Indigo. Stingray falls yet again. It is a reset again for the side of Just Better Incorporated. Raijin goes down, but Anarchy can get him back into the fight really quickly. Taxiing that Hanzo back will not be a problem.
Yeah, exactly, and you'd think, you know, at a 4-4 record, higher seed coming into the playoffs, Just Better Inc., you know, on paper, they would be the better team. You'd expect them to have the lead, but it's almost 60% and counting for Revital here.
Yeah, you would think, but that's the mistake you'd be making here. Don't put too much thought into the seeding and the record, because when playoffs come, teams level up. And now with this Annihilation online, they can absolutely shut down this push. In goes this Suffering. Down goes this Brigitte momentarily. And there goes the Sojourn as well. This is a pretty definitive fight win. And in the midst of all of that, they throw in the Rampage? Why?
I absolutely have no idea.
Okay, they swapped.
Oh, there it is. There's a swap. The Ramatra mirror gonna be coming in. Honestly, can't blame you. Really, there is gonna be a complete mirror aside from the DPS right now, and really that close quarter Ramatra brawl is really what's being proving to be definitive here.
They're gonna get the touch. Good blade to immediately find Orsted, but unfortunately getting shut down by Anarchy there. The beat coming up for Just Better Inc. They have a lot of sustain on the point right now, but will it really matter here? There's no ultimates on the side of Revital. They may just have to give this one up and let Just Better Inc. take control, at least for now. The moment they charge up another couple ultimates, though, this could very well be over.
Exactly. The ult economy looking pretty good for the side of Revital right now. They've got everything online. If I'm not mistaken, they just invested the sound barrier to counter that Dragon Blade from Blue. It's going to be a reset from them. Anyway, on the other side, you're still building the ultimates. That overclock is going to be... But I goes down immediately. What happened there?
It goes down immediately. Literally right off the bat. No time to use any of those railguns, and now the point goes back in the favor of Revital. They're off the point, and there's not enough members of Just Better Inc. to sustain any of this. Maybe the Tracer can get a touch here, but I don't think it'll matter for very long. Good shot from Raijin. The ball will somehow find its way back, but again, it'll be a miracle if anybody else can consistently touch, but nobody makes it back in Revital, despite the records saying one team is better than the other. They've put in the work, and this Ramatra comp looks very strong.
Yeah, and it's worrying, genuinely, from Just Better Inc. that they had such a powerful ultimate as the overclock, and it just went completely to waste. I think it might have been a Hanzo arrow, you know, those are a bit random. You can just get completely sniped without knowing what's coming to you, but still, having such a big advantage and getting it nullified like that, it's honestly concerning. As well, we're seeing here, we're talking a bit behind the scenes, that Ana debuff, sort of, that we saw, but you know, the patch just came in, what, today? Yesterday? I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, yesterday. These teams haven't had time to explore the compositions. We know Joker is extremely strong, but the rest, it's just better to play it safe with the old.
We're seeing a full dive comp coming out from Just Better Incorporated right now. This is not what I expected to see, but you know what? I'm not complaining. I get to see Wrecking Ball. This is looking pretty good so far for Just Better Incorporated as well. Look at how much ultimate charge Stingray is already charged up here. 70% almost and counting, making a lot of progress. But Raijin with the first pick onto the crypt. This Hanzo putting in such consistent damage and finding another headshot onto Indigo there. Can he find the third? He will! This Hanzo is popping off right now. Cannot be stopped. Looking really good and handing Revital that first capture on a silver platter.
Oh my, I know there is the utmost respect between these two teams, between all these 10 competitors, but I'm telling you, after a play like that in my ranked games, it is a DPS diff typed in chat immediately. That Hanzo from Raijin is so powerful. You see the anti-grenade coming into 2 members of Revital, but they're still able to get the opening pick. They're just so powerful right now, and they keep getting all the kills.
Oh my god! They're doing so well to do this right now. Orsted in the backline on this Tracer, just playing phenomenally as it stands, in Raijin finding another headshot onto the crypt. Man, the supports are not having a good time. There's a Hanzo with your number right now. Oh, Just Better Inc., you need to find an answer. You need a successful dive here. Potentially, like, big value out of your upcoming ultimates, though. This could be big.
And the problem is that this composition is very much not primed for dive. You've got the Zenyatta and the Ana. You're playing a dive without the Lucio. You are cutting off your own arms and legs. I am very puzzled by what I'm seeing here. And Raijin going down first thing, that's going to be very important if Just Better Inc. want to win this fight.
There we go. Finally, Raijin going down. And Phantom going down as well is a really good start. Despite the fact that if Idai goes down, they are still at 90% in building. Violet finally goes down. That's big for the side of Just Better Incorporated. They can finally retake this point just fine. And they're looking pretty good here. They got 4 ults going into this next one.
Yeah, and I was going to mention, right as it happened, you need to take down Raijin the first thing, because this Hanzo is demolishing you, and the disconnect that it's causing between the members of Just Better Inc., especially between the backline and the front line, is what's been killing them all game long. Now comes the EMP. It hits onto 3. It's massive.
Oh no, it might have been massive, but it wasn't enough to save the lives of Idai or Blue. Not looking good for the side of Just Better Incorporated as it stands here. Raijin gets out of the minefield just barely. Transcendence going to be thrown onto the point to keep Stingray alive, at least for now. But now he's left to fend for his own self. Gets slept off the point. That's a lot of damage. That's a Bionade. That is a dead Wrecking Ball. It's now desperation time. You've got to stall this out however possible, but it's not going to happen. Revital pops so many ultimates there, keeping Just Better Inc. off the point, and Revital will take Antarctic Peninsula 2-0 in a pretty dominative fashion.
Wow, that was the Raijin show if I've ever seen it. We're going to see Violet Canur get the play of the game with this Ramatra. These Annihilations have been pretty good. We saw that one popped almost right there at the end of the second point. But you can see here getting so much value out of it, out of everything. There's been a lot of damage being output by pretty much everyone in the team. The heals are on point. Everything is working well for Vital. You can see the coordination. The work has been put in there. Just Better Inc. on the other hand, they seem completely disconnected. I don't know what's going on in there. I don't know if it's a lack of communication. We've seen some good plays here, but you can see that it's only 1 kill from a Dragon Blade, an ultimate as powerful as that one, you need to confirm the kills. Here, the dive from Stingray, you've got up to 2 targets on very low health. You need to confirm those kills, and Just Better Inc. just haven't been able to do that. Like we said, there's no Lucio for the speed boost from the dive. That Lucio also can help you confirm so many kills, but really, it's baffling from Just Better Inc. to run a composition like that without one of the key pieces. I know it's not the traditional Winston dive. I know maybe you switched over from the Genji over to the Sombra, but you still have the Tracer, you still have the Ana, you still have the Wrecking Ball that, yes, you do run a slightly different dive, but it's going to be the same at the end of the day. And the Zenyatta, I feel like, doesn't provide nearly enough healing output. Yes, you can have that Discord Orb on the Ramatra, but at the end of the day, I think it wasn't enough. And, well, we saw it, Revital, pretty convincing 2-0. I don't think Just Better Inc. had any chance at any point in there to realistically take a point. Yes, they did get some percentage. They did get a cap here and there. But honestly, there was a pretty superior team, I think. We can say pretty confidently. Now, going into map number 2, though, it is going to be Just Better Inc.'s choice, and they're going to go to Numbani. So, Dexter, what do you think? Are we going to see a swap around here? How's this going to affect us in terms of compositions? Anything that catches your eye?
Before I talk about that, I will really quickly say that I actually kind of disagree with you regarding the Zenyatta pick on Antarctic 2nd there for Just Better Incorporated. Obviously, it didn't end up working out, but all of the characters that they were running, the Wrecking Ball, the Tracer, the Sombra, none of them really need that extra mobility from the Lucio to get into the backline and secure a pick. If anything, the Discord Orb was gonna be the thing that helped them find those picks the most, but unfortunately, just either the coordination was off or something along the line just didn't go their way. But it wouldn't surprise me if we see the composition again going into Numbani, because yeah, Zenyatta doesn't really have a lot of high ground control, no vertical mobility like a Batiste or a Kiriko does, but could be interesting to see what happens here.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, I was thinking about it, in the back of my head, but I actually forgot to mention it. The problem that I found of not having the Lucio is a Stingray. A lot of the time, yes, the Wrecking Ball does have a lot of mobility, but it's mostly dependent on the grapple hook. And when that grapple cooldown goes down, a lot of the time Stingray was just caught on the outside, in the middle of Revital. And it was just so complicated to get back to safety. And if your tank is dead all the time, there is no way that you're going to be able to do anything for your team. Just as a heads up for our viewers, if I'm not mistaken, we have our teams swapped right now, where you're seeing the blue team is Just Better Inc. Revital is still in the red. It's going to be the defense for Just Better Inc. That is correct at the top of the scoreboard. And we're seeing those dive positions that you mentioned now kind of a pure dive with the Winston. We're seeing Genji and Hanzo, the Shimada brothers from Revital. On the other side, the Sombra and the Ashe. Very interesting picks. Ana and Brigitte for both backlines. Let's see how this pans out. Because certainly not conventional compositions for Numbani, but they all make sense.
Not conventional, but definitely understandable. All of these DPS characters, very capable of controlling that high ground, like I said earlier. Winston, obviously, I think it's pretty clear that Winston's the best. Well, one of the best tanks, at least on the first point of this map. Being able to just leap up to the high ground whenever you want to and put pressure on the backline like we're seeing now. There goes I-Die. Good dive from the side of Revital. But unfortunately for Just Better Inc., they're going to be losing a lot of players. Raijin, stop. They have families. Please.
Well, the Raijin buff is just too strong. There is a singular better DPS in this game, and I'm not the one to bring down other players. And the performances from Orsid, Optimal, and I-Die have been fantastic, but Raijin is just a level above the rest of them right now, and you can see it in the ult charge for Revital. They are so far ahead, except in the support ults. I wonder why.
Yeah, the support ults definitely looking a little bit weird as it stands, but yeah, that's just going to be a first point capture off the back of some phenomenal shots from Raijin and some really good space making from Violet. This Winston, despite obviously not charging the ultimate as fast as Stingray, just doing so well in terms of taking space and making sure it stays that way, but right now it is just looking... It's looking so tough for Just Better Inc.
Look how far ahead Revital are pushed. They're almost gonna try to go into their spawn. Stingray is so low. Where is the healing for Stingray? In the meantime, there is a lone player just pushing the car. But really, do you need anything else? It's the Genji, I believe, that's just there in the backline. No ultimate charge is being built, but really, when you have a Winston like this, you don't need it.
There's a nanoed Winston in your backline. And you don't know this, but he has the primal. There it is. They're putting everything into killing Violet, though. EMP. Oh! Even with every ultimate invested into him, Violet is still not going to find anything up in that tiny little room. And that has to be a reset for the side of Revital. They have to get back. And oh, yeah, especially with Legend going down. Excellent dive there from Optimal and Stingray.
Now you're gonna call it getting a bit greedy from the side of Revital, but they did get a lot of ultimates online, a lot of ultimate push. They did invest both of their support ultimates and their tank primal rage, so now there's gonna be a nano Winston from Stingray. It does get an honor key. That's quite an interesting spelling. I hadn't looked at it just yet. But, you know, it's a quick in and out, just take down the Brig. And all things considered, I think Revital have come out of this dive really, really well, especially considering that they have the Dragon Blade and the Dragon Strike both ready to go.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that Phantom also, like, managed to live through all of that. Another kill from the Sombra onto Raijin. Super early stuff, and oh, somebody pokes a little bit of damage into Optimal, and the Sleep Dart gets swiftly removed from the fight. iDie gonna throw in the Dragon Strike, not gonna find anybody, at least yet. Optimal finding Anarchy in the backline again. We've been talking up Raijin this whole time, but Optimal on this point has proven that he is not to be messed with. This dive Sombra has been phenomenal for the last several fights, and now this Winston looking pretty good here. Orsted's not gonna fall yet, but here comes the Nano Blade. Into the backline it goes, down goes Brig, down goes Hanzo, down goes Ana! Makes it a 3K for Revital. That's gonna be the point for sure.
There it is, the wipe, that gong that signals the team kill. Probably the most precious sound that you can hear in Overwatch, or at least one of the most precious sounds. But you were mentioning it, Optimal has been absolutely on point with that Sombra dive. Stingray has also stepped it up massively. You gotta give props to them. Revital, though, they still have a pretty big time back of their first point capture. That was very fast, and then they got a lot of push progress. And now, we've got this Dragon Strike, the Primal Rage as well, and it's gonna be coming up.
And the EMP.
Rally, but the EMP comes out on the other side, and that's just gonna completely wreck them.
The EMP landing onto 4 players, only 1 hit coming out of it, but eventually Orsted will fall. This is a definitive reset for the side of Revital. You won that fight off of 1 ultimate, and now you can just, no, sorry, 2 ultimates. I didn't see the Primal got thrown in there, but now you can just win the next one off of a nanoed monkey. You're looking super good right now if you're Just Better Inc. You can stall this for so much longer. The 8% for this Hanzo of iDie, though. Gonna be throwing stuff in, and now the cart is getting dangerously close. Raijin with another headshot kick onto iDie, and then the Indigo. There goes the Nano. That is the go sign for Revital. They get to go in with this rally, with everything they have. Violet gone. The Violet just goes off the edge, though. That could be potentially big, but I don't think anybody's gonna be there to touch. 2 minutes and 30 seconds for Revital on this attack. Despite some phenomenal play from Optimal at times, it just wasn't enough.
I'm convinced that Raijin has the stream open in like another tab or their phone or something on the side listening to us, because the moment we start talking up Optimal, Raijin says, okay, no problem, I'll just get a couple cool headshots, just outright win that last fight for Revital. They were able to push with so much time in the end. Look at that.
Oh,
there's one. And there's gonna be another one coming right up. There it is!
God.
Takes down the Hanzo and the Ana that had the nano boost. You could have nanoed the Junker Queen. It would have been so powerful, but no. 2 minutes and 30 seconds right on the dot is gonna be what Revital have for them. Have defense. They're gonna run the same composition. If it ain't broken, no need to fix it. On the other side, you're gonna see Optimal hovering over the Genji and I dive on the Tracer. This is a much more conventional type of dive, at least in terms of the DPS. And Raging actually going to be moving over to the Ashe, different type of sniper. We know their prowess, so I'm not really worried about it. But, you know, I'd say Ashe is a bit more dependent on aim than Hanzo is, so it better be ready to click some heads if Revital don't want to be in trouble.
Absolutely. This attack from Just Better Incorporated has to be phenomenal, and they have the composition to do it. This Tracer can put so much pressure onto the enemy supports. You just have to be so careful to not get slept or bionated or anything, really. And especially when that rally comes up, being stunned by that shield bash, oh, it's like Release Brig all over again. But Idai is currently sneaking around in the back lines. Phantom gonna find that initial pick onto Stingray. Doesn't notice the Genji right there. Idai in a little bit of trouble. Will not escape. Good shots from Orsted, and it's a rough start. But can they do it?
It pains me to say this, but we just saw the same problem from Stingray as we saw in map 1, complete disconnect from the rest of the team. You know, you're seeing Stingray is the only one being chunked down. That happens because you're not together with the rest of your team. Now, the dive is coming in from Just Better Aim, but Violet is going to be the one to get the pick, and they are so resilient. They're just hunkering down and getting the job done.
My word, down goes the Genji to a couple of really good ability usages there. The Bionade and the Winston damage to force him out. Super consistent stuff there. And Raijin is just farming this Bob right now. Look at the difference in blade charge. Like, this is unbelievable. Like, Revital is getting so much more value out of their DPS right now, and it is showing in spades. Idai and Stingray both going down early in this fight means it's another reset. Oh my god, Raijin. Just okay, we get it, bro. We get it. You want to be in the montage for next season.
Yeah, but as many props as we are giving Raijin because of their sniper prowess, Orsted on the Genji has been absolutely lights out. This defense completely shutting down Idai. That Tracer that has to be generating so much space has been able to get nothing from a Genji, and the Pulse Bomb, that's one of the fastest ultimates to build up. The Nano Blade, the Dragon Blade is going to be here faster.
How does Raijin live there? Getting jumped on by a Winston and you still manage to survive that somehow? That's honestly more impressive than anything. But finally they get a pick onto the side of Revital. Orsted will go down. Anarchy choosing now to pop this rally, but with Optimal going down, it still looks really rough for him. There goes the nanoed Winston though. We've talked about how that is a win condition. Good shots from Raijin, but Idai does find Phantom on the way out. Anarchy going down as well. There are no supports to the side of Revital. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on like that, but they do still have this prowess of Raijin and Orsted. Speaking of healers going down though, Indigo is out of the picture. I don't think there's anybody that's going to be able to keep Stingray alive here. There goes Optimal as well. 1 minute left.
Oh my goodness, and I know, I'm just going, oh, we've been talking about this, but now we're gonna talk about this. Violet completely wins that fight with the Primal Rage, as well as Raijin and Orsted coming back with all that damage. That combo of 2 DPS, 1 tank, just 3 players, get everything done against Just Better Inc. And now it's desperation time. They need this like water. They need this for their life. Otherwise, they're going to go down 2-0.
No.
He is already dead.
With 30 seconds left, that is not what you want to see. There are no ultimates on the board for Just Better Incorporated. It is just a Nano Blade for Revital, but that is all you need. Indigo goes down. So does the Crypt. It's looking over right now, Gator. You may have lost Violet, but he can get back relatively quickly. Stingray needs to live and get back to the point here. Nobody else can contest consistently. But at such low health, it's gonna be tough. Orsted is just barely gonna find that pick onto Optimal, but at 17 health, can anybody get like it? He will get back to the point eventually, and Stingray and Idai go down. A sleep dart off the point. Nobody is there, and Revital goes up 2-0 in this series.
It's just such good gameplay from Revital, and you could see it in the confidence right there at the end. Orsted, a Genji, is going up for an echo that is low. Well, the play of the game, of course, is going to be this game-winning play. The double headshot from Ragin on the Hanzo is just so good. Did he get a third? Okay, we're not going to see it just yet. We're gonna actually take a look at some of the best plays. And who else? Who else? Of course, it's gonna be Ragin on the Hanzo, on the Ashe. This Genji from Orsted as well, absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
It's just everything clicking well for Revital. I have to mention, of course, the supports, Phantom and Anarchy. They have been doing an amazing job, but really, all the highlights are being taken by their DPS and the tank. But as a DPS, as a tank, you can only get those highlights if you're being properly supported. This backline from Revital, shout out to them. They may not be flashy, but they are getting the job done wonderfully.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, like, shout outs to Phantom. These like, nano timings have been fantastic. Charging up that ultimate so ridiculously quickly. This whole team. Like, I'm watching this and I'm wondering, how the hell did these guys go 3 and 5? What do you mean 5 teams beat them? Like, what? Huh? How? Like, this is lights out. This is really solid stuff from them, and I am so excited to see if Just Better Incorporated can bounce back in the second half of our series. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be going to a quick halftime break, but when we come back, map 3.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Tranquility Trans Tier halftime show for our featured match of Just Better Inc. versus Revitalize. Got a great match going on so far with Revitalize up 2-0 so far in the series. Any thoughts? Dabmaster and NRFT are going to meet me here on the desk. Any thoughts on the game so far?
Okay.
Ani, that's gross. Sorry.
What? Well, this is like first to 3 now, right? Instead of like the 4 maps, so it's just one more map and it's over, you know? It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
one
these
more
are...
map, unless they turn it around, unless Just Better Inc. Is able to turn it around. So I think pretty dominant first 2 maps. But
do you think they will? Do you think they'll turn around?
I don't know if they will, but I think that if they do, they'll win the series. Because here's the thing. I was looking through some Revital history. I wanted to see, just like how this team has done throughout the season, because they've been interesting. A 3-5 is a record that I don't think accurately reflects how good this team is. I think that they definitely have some solid set pieces on the team. But I was looking through and I saw that they have lost Revital have lost 4 map 5s, which yeah, I think if this series goes the distance, you could very easily see Just Better Inc. come out on top, especially when they have won a lot of their map 5s. So
yeah. I'm gonna take a break and deviate real quick to bring some score updates. So right now, Hammerhead versus Billings Boomers. It is currently 1-0 for Hammerhead. Fleet Angels versus Wyverns. It is 2-0 for Fleet. 1-1 draw for Delta and Frost Nova, and when Halifax versus Fades 1-0 Hamad.
Oh, I'm not getting updates on that. They're not messaging me, but I'm glad we're
I'm
up
looking
on
at
that.
the sheet, bro. It's on the sheet.
I know. I've been messaging Capital. I'm like, please send me scores.
Score check.
Right. Score check.
Pretty cool.
You should stream your Overwatch.
Yeah, we'll stream my match. We'll watch. We'll watch live for halftime. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and go into the match now, talking about what was going on, and really what I want to look at here is this full hold defense. This was really good, and I think it was with a comp that we see is kind of non-traditional. So something that really we don't see a lot of on Numbani is this solo Ashe pick, right? So a lot of times maybe we'll see it with a Mercy, and then you kind of try to play back here on this high ground, and then you can either kite into this hallway or you fall off the high ground really early. But I think that Raijin is doing a really, really good job playing this aggressive Ashe style and trying to kind of live really, really well, rather than just like playing back, trying to be the bait. I think he was actually getting a lot of value with every single dynamite and actually playing in their face and trying to challenge the dives instead of just letting the team deal with it while he lived.
Yeah, Raijin's always been a very solid piece for this team. Revital have kind of lived or died by how good Raijin is playing on a given day. Definitely a really, really solid DPS. I don't remember if he's up for any like awards, but definitely a solid player.
I don't know. Phantom also a crazy player. Zubi is more people know him. He's also really good flex support, and I think he has one of the better supports in an arguably mid team. Hate to say, because this team has potential.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that.
How are we supposed to know Finn?
Finn. So I think that one of the biggest things that I've seen from Just Better Inc., as far as pieces that are continuously there and are looking really, really good despite maybe like a suboptimal performance from the rest of the team, is this Brig, the crit has looked really good. They're one of the first Brigs that I've seen really using the reworked rally in a correct way that is giving the team full value with the armor and with the heal.
Finn, shut up! I don't think Finn can hear us. Yes, that's kind of we don't want to happen, you know.
OBS.
All right. But anyway, so you'll see what happens here as this dive comes through. Yeah, they look to take this space, but really, the red team is forced to back off here. But really, blue team don't get too much for it. They lose their Genji, and the supports aren't set up to take this high ground and generate an actual space advantage. So what happens really easily here is this Ashe is just able to play super aggressively now because they have no real threat of the Genji diving on them, and they've got the Brig protecting them, they've got the Ana protecting them. So now, because this blue team's backline is not able to take this high ground, this point is just so easy to take back.
Yeah, especially like I mentioned before, Raijin staying alive. He's gonna hit so many shots in this fight. He does so much damage. And Ashe is such like a very good pick for finding those opening picks. I don't remember who got the kill on the Genji there. But just Raijin's an insane DPS.
Look how fast he spams Bob. This is crazy.
I know.
Yeah,
like the only one that's comparable is Indigo with Nano, and that's because Indigo is just healing the monkey.
Yeah.
Healing the monkey. I apologize. I miss,
And it's every single fight with this Ashe. It's before the fight even starts, we're getting out nade, we're getting out even maybe a bubble before, and that just makes it so much harder to actually contest and push past these corners into a Brig and into an Ana where you're just getting naded, and now you have one less way to mitigate that damage and that anti.
I think you're also seeing Idiot and Optimal having a hard time taking off angles and being able to flank to get accurate amounts of DPS to compare with Raijin and Orsted. So just kind of, I don't want to say a DPS gap, but it does feel like they're getting shut down a lot easier than Raijin and Orsted are.
Yeah, it definitely feels like one thing I'm seeing is that a lot of the resources from these supports are just going straight into this monkey, whereas a lot of times you will see this Brig and even the Ana hard playing to keep this Ashe alive, even sometimes face tanking for the Ashe, just to keep the Ashe up, let them farm another Bob, let them get one more dynamite off, and if they get that second dynamite off, the fight's just over at that point, right? If we're not able to get a pick because the blue team is playing for these really hard and fast engages with a Tracer and a Genji, whereas this Ashe just provides so much value over time just by getting chip damage and honestly just the potential to just two-tap someone as Raijin's been doing this whole map.
Yeah, and you can see like so far Optimal has just not been getting value on this Genji. Like he's only like 60% of Blade, and everybody else pretty much has an ult here, so it's kind of just unfortunate. I don't think this Genji pick was working throughout this entire time. Maybe we should have swapped Mirror Ashe. That might have done better in contesting Raijin and making sure that he doesn't get as much of value as he is getting right now. But they do do a lot of damage this fight. Actually, end up killing both supports here, and they have both support ultimates active. So I don't know how they didn't win this fight. I won't lie. We can break this down.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing here is just the commitment of ultimates kind of into a fight that's already lost. So really the game plan of blue team here is to commit really hard and fast with their ultimates. Is to commit
No, wow, good one there.
Okay, dude.
Good one there.
Is to commit really hard and fast with the ultimates, but instead we see Optimal's already dead, and then they start committing ultimates, and of course... Alright guys, calm down, Discord overlay too good. And now that the Genji's already dead and these ultimates are coming out, it's just, even though the supports have now made it on the point, they're taking a little bit of space, it's just too far gone now, and this Bob's still up, and Raijin, of course, being the huge threat here, is still not getting shut down even after all these ultimates have come out, and you're just going to watch him come back and just farm the backline here, and there's really not much for them to do without the Tracer and the Genji present.
Yeah, and Violet pops the Primal. They stall for just long enough for Orsted and Raijin to be able to come back into the fight. Stingray stops pressuring Raijin, and the DPS just kind of go crazy from there.
Yeah, I think they did such a good job handling that, where Raijin just played to live, and then while the DPS were out, Violet's primaling, living, and then letting the DPS get value as he comes back to stabilize.
Yeah, and look how many ults blue team invested in this. You can see that Optimal still doesn't even have Blade. So at this point, they kind of just, they just end up swapping the Sombra here. Or Echo. I guess Echo.
Yeah, Echo, but I think the problem here is that Echo doesn't even fix any of the problems that they're having with the Genji.
That'd be worse.
Yeah, it's honestly just worse, because now you're playing even slower, right? You're playing for more right clicks to try to get chip damage off, but really, this Ashe is just going to do better if we're trying to play for that chip damage.
Ready?
One second.
Pause? Can we get a pee in here?
Sorry, my mom's here.
Yo. Tell her to say hi to Cam. Tell her to say hi on Cam. Hi on Cam.
Everybody in chat say hi to Bernie's mom.
Yeah, can we get a hi for Bernie's mom?
Anyways, I think as we see here, like, this Ashe is even just slower, or this Echo is even just slower than the Genji. So we're looking at this and we're just not able to get any kills, right? And at this point, again, the backline is just having such a tough time setting up. I think that really the biggest thing that we got to see here from Just Better Inc. is we got to see some more compositional swaps, and I want to see a little bit more play for the backline, forcing on work on getting them set up before we do that. Right? Yep. So I think that's about it for the halftime. I think that's all the time that we got. I want to thank you all for watching and enjoy the second half of the series. Thank you.
Yeah. Hashtag Bernie's mom.
Thank you, Desk, for that bit. Welcome back, everybody. I was actually not aware that we were going to have a desk. I was, admittedly, I haven't paid enough attention to realize that that's a new thing. So, first of all, that's hype. I'm really excited that we have the means by which to do that now. It just goes to show how much the people at Tranquility really care about putting on a great show. Shout outs to everybody involved here at Trank, by the way. I have worked with Trank for a couple broadcasts for I want to say 6 months now, and it's just been a joy every single time. I absolutely love the people here at Tranquility. They have treated me well. They treat their players well. It's a good time all around. Get involved next time around if you're interested. All I'm saying.
Definitely the place to be for Overwatch. But speaking of Overwatch, Junkertown is the new place to be. The pick is going to come in from Just Better Inc. Their last ditch attempt. You can see it up there. Antarctic Peninsula 2-0 in favor of Revital. Then the first map pick from Just Better Inc. Numbani 3-0 in favor of Revital. Now Junkertown, I believe it's going to be Just Better Inc. on the defense first and Revital on the attack. That's what we had for Numbani. And it was, I don't want to say a stomp. The scoreline is definitely deceptive. The defense was very much decent from Just Better Inc. It's just that their attack was not up to par with the defense Revital was putting up. Now, Junkertown is a very interesting pick, especially because it's a map where snipers are the name of the game.
Yep.
And I believe Revital have one of the best snipers in the entirety of this Tranquility Tier Transcendence.
Yeah, this is gonna be Raijin's playground. Something tells me this is a... I don't know that I agree with this pick from Just Better Inc. Maybe they have a trick up their sleeve, but with Sigma not in rotation, this is potentially going to be a nightmare for them. Raijin might just tear them to shreds. It's gonna be rough to shut them down. So I'm interested to see what they run here, though. Stingray on this Hanzo. Wait, Stingray moving from tank to DPS, by the way.
Oh yeah, very interesting.
Interesting decision here. We'll see how that goes. Maybe his Hanzo is like actually different, but Orsted is flashing the Widowmaker right now, and I imagine Raijin will be swapping to the Hanzo shortly, but looks like this is gonna be a Junker Queen defense, so absolutely no way to mitigate the damage that the snipers are doing other than finding an arrow to the head.
Wait, Orsted is gonna be the main sniper. Oh, we're seeing right here, Anarchy is gonna be the one moving over to the Zenyatta. Look at that! Almost got it there, but the swaps are going to be coming in. Violet over to the Reinhardt. Orsted, I would expect. Oh, the Mei, not the Genji. Raijin already doing Hanzo things with Raijin. The Mei wall is there. It is just chaos and shutdown for Revital. They're going to have this first point almost entirely off this first fight.
Yeah. Good calls to swap that early on. Being the attacking team, you do have the advantage of being able to go back into spawn and basically immediately swap compositions if you deem what you initially ran out with is not going to work out. But, yeah, it's really, I gotta be honest, it's not looking good for Just Better Incorporated right now. They lost that first fight pretty definitively. Raijin's on this Hanzo that we've seen him really farm on, and Lemonwire's Junker Queen has just not worked out so far. That Mei wall earlier absolutely being the reason Lemonwire falls, and now this Genji potentially in a little bit of trouble. Yeah, we'll go down to a couple shots from the DPS, and potentially the Lucio as well. Lots of damage being spammed in right now, but can anybody consistently touch? Not with Lemonwire going down that early, and with Stingray falling, that's got to be a first point capture for Revital.
Yeah, and I don't want to pick individual players, but we just got it on the POV right there. Optimal, it looks like they were playing the Genji, sort of like you would play a Sombra, and we saw their Sombra gameplay in the first map. It was not bad by any means, but you just can't play the Genji like that. You can't go that deep into the backline because you don't have the teleport. If you dash, then you're done pretty much with your movement. Stingray also trying to get that touch with the Sojourner. Look at that, Lemonwire is just gonna go for the Lucio, but the Lucio can just escape the card. Revital just have Just Better Inc.'s number.
That was a good plan, though. I like the idea of trying to single out the only player on the cart here. But now they have this brawl comp advantage on the point here. Raijin can very easily go down, but ends up getting healed up by Anarchy and Phantom. Optimal gonna have to grab that health pack, but with the Kitsune Rush in play, it's a potential win. Not with Lemonwire going down, though. That is a very unfortunate first player to lose. But the target focus has been on point for Revital, and despite what I think were genuinely good plays, Revital's gonna keep this cart moving.
It was a good idea, but like I said, it was the Lucio, the player with the fastest escape speed. And the way that they ended up, I don't know if you realized, it looked like Revital was the defending team. They completely flipped the script, and we've seen Revital is so good at defending, and now they're so good at attacking as well. They're almost gonna be able to capture this point for free. Someone's gonna touch.
Oh, and they almost certainly get this point for free here. You want to know why? Because there is nothing to mitigate this Earth Shatter. However, a couple picks going that way will do good. Alright, nope, never mind. They knocked down all 3 of the remaining members of Just Better Incorporated. They're gonna get this point just fine. Once they take out this Lucio, of course. It is, okay, I hate to say it, but changes need to happen for Just Better Incorporated, man. Because frankly, right now, you aren't better. You need to find something here. The composition is not it. This Junker Queen is not working. You've not found value out of it. You gotta figure it out. You gotta get something cooking, and it needs to be now. Maybe this Rampage could be big, but you need to find something, and you need to find it now.
Yeah, and the problem is, even if the Rampage is big, okay, Revital just kite it out, or even if they are all dead, they just reset, they go back, they have 4 minutes to push. Also, I have to say, shout out to the Observing. When you said the Earth Shadow was going to be the focal point, immediately we saw that POV, but now the Rampage, we saw it in the background, it went nowhere. Orsted, Violet, they get 2, and Indigo is going to commit the sound barrier. What is going on?
What are they doing, man? Okay, the Blade at least finds Anarchy, and Violet Conure will eventually go down. So, at very least, you stabilize. I was questioning the usage of the Beat and the Blade there, but honestly, that's fine if you can stabilize. My question is, why are you still on the Queen? You got the Rampage, you only hit the Mei with it, who then ice blocks to mitigate it. You are doing nothing with this character, and then you die, and you stay on her? No, I'm molding. This is...
This just feels like one of those picks that you see in the metal ranks where I personally am stuck, where it's like, oh yeah, this character is supposed to be OP, I am just going to force it, and I know these players are much better than me, but still begs the question, now everything comes out, there is the Blizzard, there's the Dragon Strike, and still, everything is off the back of Phantom's Amplification Matrix. You look at that, 2 kills, plus the Immortality Field, Anarchy being able to get Lemon Wire. It is all Revital right here.
Yeah, this has been Revital throughout the series. It's been Revital throughout the map, and now they finish Junkertown with 2 minutes and 33 seconds in the time bank. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Revital has just been putting on a clinic right now. How did this team go 3-5? Who beat them?
Serious speedrun? Any percentage? Honestly, yeah, like you're saying, how did Revital go 3-5 during the regular season? I haven't much time to explore the sheets. I haven't been able to see other teams in action, has to be said. But you know, it is very, very curious. It really begs the question. Maybe we'll see as they progress further into the playoffs what happens. What's very interesting here is that they're going to try Orsted on the Widowmaker again. And I mean, Raijin on the Hanzo, okay, makes sense. Violet on the Diva, they tried it before, it didn't quite work. Phantom on the BAP, we've seen it works very well. Anarchy on the Zenyatta, sure, you can make it work. I've seen Anarchy make everything work, so I'm not worried about that one. The problem is, if they lose this first fight, okay, they can go back to spawn, but they are going to concede a lot of territory if they want to swap their picks. On the other side, very interesting to see Ramatra from Lemon Wire. Stingray gonna get a cheeky shot from the Widowmaker, at least gonna try.
Gonna go for it, but takes a lot of chunk damage from one of the snipers hitting a body shot. I will say that thus far, I think the big crux of the issue is that Revital has been doing a stellar job of shutting down Lemon Wire from getting value here. I was ragging on the Junker Queen pick, which is just true. Like, I don't think you should have stuck on that character for that long, but at the same time, it was being pretty effectively shut down, and that's a pretty good start, at least demeching the Diva. You have lost your Tracer though, so you still probably need to reset here, especially with the Crypt going down. Yeah, this is looking like maybe a little bit of extra distance, but yeah, with Stingray going down and Indigo going down, good shots from Orsted and Raijin. It's just looking like a little bit of a sniper differential right now.
Yeah, and I'm a bit puzzled by Violet still on the Diva. I guess they can't really go back and swap right now, but not seeing anything stellar. The Reinhardt was much better. We've seen the Ramatra as well work. The Monkey too, you know. Out of all the tanks that you can viably play here, is D.Va really the best option? I don't know. Orsted doing really well here on the Widowmaker. With 2 great snipers on your team, Junkertown, it seems more and more. It was just not the best pick from Just Better Inc. Look at that. Venom Mine is going to be saving these characters here up on the high ground, but Stingray gets the opening pick on Orsted.
That is exactly what they needed. Finally finding an opening pick onto an enemy sniper. You have damage pressure, so much of it has been mitigated now, but oh no, Raijin getting the crit is really bad. Anarchy going down though, that's fine. Okay, now they're stabilizing. Anarchy and Raijin are both down, very likely going to be losing out on Phantom and Violet next up. This is looking much better. Lemon Wire just needs to stay alive, and the Mega Health Pack is going to help them do that. The cart is going to keep moving towards this first point here. The Annihilation is on deck if they need to use it. They may not end up needing it. Out goes just that Rampage mode, and there it goes. Okay, now there goes that was an Annihilation decision. I mean, it wasn't a bad choice, it's just Raijin's there, and he hits headshots. Who could have guessed?
And Raijin challenging the Widowmaker that had the infrasights! The wrecking balls on this man are incredible. That they do get the point at the end. Orsted still gets Stingray. Okay, yes, the spawn timer is not going to be much, but the confidence that Revital are showing right now, Violet swaps over to the Ramatra. I mean, this could be over very soon. 3.5 minutes, that's some decent time for Just Better Inc. to work with. They seem to be getting into a sort of groove right here with these DPS. Optimal doing well on the Hanzo. So maybe the magic is here. Stingray! Maybe the surprise Widowmaker you were talking about. You were talking about maybe them having a potential secret weapon. It seems like we found it.
There we go. At long last, we're looking at some good damage and some good picks here from the side of Just Better Inc. The snipers are showing up on this second point in particular. This first fight definitively going in their favor. Like last point, we were seeing the issue of, like, yeah, you were getting the picks, but you were also letting your supports get traded out, or your snipers get traded out. This time around, they've not lost anybody yet. So far, it's on this point, it's been all JBI. Revital has not had an opening yet here, but they will find something with this infrasight. Very, very risky plays need to be taken here if you want to move forward significantly, but this cart is still moving. Lemon Wire goes down though, that's big. You can't really continue to push this cart without the presence of your tank, but a good shot from Stingray to shut down Orsted. I don't think it'll matter that much, but both of the DPS are down for Revital and might take a little while to get back.
Yeah, and now Violet here you see pushing for those last kills. Not going to be able to find either the Kiriko or the Zenyatta, but it is a decision. I mean, you still have the numbers advantage if you are Revital. The players that they lost, I believe Raijin, going to be coming back on the Genji. It seems like a role swap between Orsted and Raijin, but you know what? It's working for them, so we'll take it.
It looks to be working pretty decently so far, but going forward, Lemon Wire needs to stay alive here. Will not. That's a really good time for that Annihilation to come out, finding 3 off the back of it. And Raijin with a headshot deflect onto Stingray. Woo!
Yeah, Violet. Yep, there we go. Violet really has been it on the Ramatra. I said it before. I guess, yeah, you can try to play the D.Va if you have a game plan that it just revolves around her, but really doesn't make any sense to run anything else if you are this good. It's like Raijin on the Genji, sure, you can have that. I mean, Raijin can just play pretty much anything, but why would you not have them on the Zenyatta? Now Stingray! You've got to wonder, why were they playing tank in the first map? It's the same thing over and over again.
Man, Stingray right now on this Widowmaker showing some fantastic proficiency. Definitely raising some questions to the other side, the compositional choices made, but Raijin continues to be solid here, finding 2 picks with that blade. Not going to be able to live past that though. going down. Anarchy very, very low and eventually will be found out by Lemon Wire. Orsted finding a counterpick onto Stingray. Will they be able to make this distance though? A contest does come through and a lot of players are on their way, but they step off! I think it might have just been Orsted on the point, actually. I'm not entirely sure, but it might have just been the Widowmaker contesting. In that case...
C9 question mark?
No, I don't think that's a C9, but... we might... I don't know if we're capable of, like, seeing multiple angles of that, but check the replay code later. Check the replay code later.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely one that we're gonna need to check, and like you said, just a minute and 30. Even if JBI are able to get this point, they are not gonna be in a good position against Revital. And you can see the amplification matrix. Oh, Orsted is gonna delete Optimal, and now it's everything crumbling from the side of JBI. Supreme gameplay from Revital.
Yeah, this has just been significantly better for Revital. Their defense has been much stronger. It's taken them. They've drained JBI's time bank a lot more than their time bank got drained. Numerically speaking, we're already below a minute. It's damn near impossible for Just Better Inc. to capture with any time remaining, especially with the ultimates that Revital will soon have, being this Annihilation and the Transcendence. Sort of two opposing ultimates, but very similar in that they will drag out a fight for a very long time. Now, a lot of damage is going to come out, and Optimal will be the first to fall in the fight. Not a good sign if you're the side of Just Better Inc. And Stingray going down next is just as bad, if not worse. The Crypt getting poked down here. Indigo looking super low. You're in Struggle City right now if you're Just Better Inc. You need a perfect game from here on out, but Anarchy shutting down Indigo. Optimal going down. It doesn't look like that perfect play is going to be anywhere in sight. Lemon Wire going down. I don't think anybody can touch. Somebody barely does to contest overtime. Transcendence comes out. They just need to contest. They just need to stay there for as long as possible, but the Crypt has to step off. The Kiriko gets back to the point, but it won't last very long. Indigo goes down the blade into the backline. Raijin shutting anything down. Lemon Wire falls. Stingray is it on this Tracer, and they will fall. Decrypt will not make it back in time, and Revital will move on in this playoff bracket, sending Just Better Incorporated home.
Oh, that was a bit sad to watch at the end, I'm not gonna lie. It was just desperation from JBI. You know, the time was running low. If it had been just a bit earlier that they had finished the complete wipe, the clock wouldn't have gone into overtime. That desperation would have not been there. You know, because as long as the game keeps going, you are going to keep trying. That's the spirit of Overwatch players, but unfortunately, it just wasn't meant to be. Obviously, it was so difficult, but we have such great plays here from Revital that we're gonna be taking a look at. Everything was popping off. We've seen Orsted on everything from the Genji, the Tracer, the Widowmaker on that last map. Definitely a noteworthy performance. Violet as well, popping off on the Ramatra, on the Reinhardt. Of course, if you ask me for an MVP, I'm always gonna say Raijin on the Hanzo, but really, every single member of Revital has been on fire. Phantom on the Baptiste as well, had some highlights on that last map, and the Nanos were amazing. Anarchy, always that pillar of sustenance for Revital. Really, like you say, you gotta wonder how they ever went 3-5. Maybe they were missing a member. I don't know exactly what happened during that regular season, but definitely a good contender to advance far and deep into these Tranquility playoffs.
I really hate to give my personal MVPs to DPS players because it kind of feels cheap. But like, it's hard to not give it to Raijin, right? Like,
exactly.
You kind of gotta for the performance he put on today. Shout out to Stingray though for the Philadelphia Fusion Widowmaker skin. I miss my team, okay? I miss my team.
The spirit of Carpe still alive.
Yeah, the spirit of Carpe, baby. Nah, but on a real note here, I think a lot of this series just came down to a coordination difference. Like, there were so many instances of Just Better Incorporated having good ideas. Like, for example, defending on Junkertown's second point there, they chose to rush down the Lucio, who was alone on the cart, and Kitsune rushed to try to win that fight. Good idea! But the execution just wasn't there. The teamwork wasn't there, and Revital ending up just playing just simply outplaying Just Better Incorporated at every turn. And there were a couple bright spots, because again, I say there were good ideas, but the execution just not there, and unfortunately, they will be going out with a little bit of a whimper of the playoffs in losers round 1. But there's always next season. Run it back. Maybe some of these players are going to be on different teams. Maybe they're going to stick together. Who knows? It's a disappointing finish in these playoffs, but who knows? We could see a much better result from them next time.